Growing older brings realizations. Wealth and property aren't true wins, these three things matter most. As the years roll by, and life settles into a rhythm, many of us begin to ask ourselves deeper questions. What really matters in the end? Is it the money we spent years accumulating? The homes we worked tirelessly to own? While these things might bring comfort and convenience, it's only as we age that we realize they are not the ultimate measures of a successful or meaningful life. When you are young and ambitious, money often feels like the ultimate solution to everything. You wake up every day with goals, whether it's securing a well-paying job, affording your first home, or saving for your children's future. For many in the baby boomer and Gen X generations, life in their early years was defined by scarcity. They weren't chasing luxury but survival, putting food on the table, buying warm clothes for winter, or scraping together enough to pay school fees so their kids could have a better life. Fast forward a few decades, and the narrative seems to have shifted. In today's fast-paced, materialistic world, many people prioritize money above all else. But at what cost? Sacrificing health, family, and dignity has become all too common. People tell themselves, if I can just earn enough, everything will fall into place. The truth? Some lessons in life can only be learned with time, and often, these realizations hit hardest when it's too late to undo past mistakes. Here are three irreplaceable aspects of life that no amount of money can ever buy. 1. Money can buy medicine, but not health. Let me tell you about Mr. Charles Rivers, a 62-year-old entrepreneur from Seattle. Charles was the epitome of success, at least on paper. He built a thriving logistics company from scratch, growing it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Over the years, Charles developed a mindset that money was the ultimate key to solving problems. Whenever a challenge arose, his solution was always the same: throw more money at it. He worked long hours, entertained clients with lavish dinners, and indulged in late-night drinks, convincing himself that his robust health could handle the stress. A few drinks won't hurt, right? He would chuckle to his friends. Even when occasional chest pains and fatigue hinted that something might be wrong, Charles dismissed the warning signs. Then came the wake-up call. One morning, after feeling unusually weak, he was rushed to the hospital and diagnosed with advanced esophageal cancer. The news shook him to his core. Suddenly, the man who had always prided himself on having control realized that no amount of money could reverse the damage already done. Desperate to fight the disease, Charles spared no expense. He booked a private hospital suite, hired the best oncologists, and sought cutting-edge treatments from around the world. Injections costing thousands of dollars? He paid for them without hesitation. Experimental drugs with astronomical price tags? He signed off on every prescription. Despite all this, his condition worsened. Charles's once vibrant demeanor faded. He became a shadow of his former self. Lying in that pristine hospital bed, surrounded by machines and monitors, he often whispered to his assistants, "I have all the money in the world, but it can't bring back my health." One day, while attempting to sign a business document, his hands trembled so much that the pen slipped from his grasp. He looked up, tears streaming down his face, and admitted, "I was wrong. I thought money could solve everything. Now I see how foolish I've been." As Charles's health declined further, he came to understand a harsh truth: wealth might buy the best medicine, but it cannot guarantee a healthy body. True wealth lies in preserving your health while you have it. 2. Money can buy a house, but not a home. Now, let's move to the story of Sarah and Tom Wilkins, a hardworking couple from Texas. Sarah and Tom grew up in modest families, and when they married in their 20s, they shared a dream of building a better future. Starting from scratch, they worked tirelessly to save enough to buy their first home. Tom managed a local hardware store, while Sarah ran a small catering business from their kitchen. After years of sacrifices, skipping vacations, avoiding luxuries, and putting in endless hours, they finally purchased a spacious 3-bedroom house in a thriving neighborhood. It was their dream come true. For a brief moment, they felt they had made it. But soon, the pressures of sustaining their growing business consumed them. Tom started working 12-hour shifts, and Sarah expanded her catering service, often waking up before dawn and returning home well past dinner time. Their young son, Ben, spent most of his time with his grandmother. He rarely saw his parents and began to feel their absence keenly. As Ben grew older, the cracks in their family dynamic became evident. He started acting out in school, frequently getting into fights and refusing to do his homework. One day, he caused a major commotion by placing a dead bug in a classmate's lunchbox. When Sarah and Tom were called to the school, Ben lashed out, saying, "You don't care about me. All you care about is money." That night, as they sat in their beautiful living room, surrounded by the material comforts they had worked so hard for, Sarah broke down in tears. "We bought this house to give Ben a better life," she said. "But what's the point of having a house if it doesn't feel like a home?" The truth hit them hard. A house is just a structure made of bricks and mortar. A home, on the other hand, is built on love, shared memories, and the time spent together as a family. It is the laughter in the kitchen, the stories told at bedtime, and the warmth of knowing you are never alone. 3. Money can buy companionship, but not genuine connection. Lastly, there's the story of Margaret Lawson, a retired businesswoman in Chicago. In her younger days, Margaret was a force to be reckoned with, smart, ambitious, and fiercely independent. She married early but divorced by 45, choosing instead to focus on her career. Over the years, she amassed significant wealth and lived in a stunning penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. But despite her financial success, Margaret's personal life was fraught with loneliness. Her estranged relationship with her children stemmed from her decision to prioritize work over family. By the time she reached her 70s, she realized just how empty her days had become. Birthdays were spent alone, with no one to share the cake she bought herself. Holidays felt unbearably quiet. One Christmas Eve, as Margaret sat in her lavishly decorated living room, she gazed out the window at the bustling streets below. Families hurried by, arms full of presents, laughter echoing in the air. Margaret's heart ached. "What good is all this wealth," she thought, "if I have no one to share it with?" At 75, Margaret mustered the courage to reach out to her eldest daughter, Emma, after years of silence. When Emma picked up the phone, Margaret hesitated before whispering, "I miss you." Emma's voice softened, and after a long pause, she replied, "I miss you too, Mom." That conversation marked the beginning of reconciliation. A few months later, Margaret hosted a small family dinner. As she watched her grandchildren giggling at the table, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. "For years, I thought success was about achieving goals and earning money," she said to Emma. "But now I know, it's about having people who love you by your side." Reflecting on what truly matters. As we age, life teaches us lessons that no book or seminar can fully convey. The pursuit of money and material success isn't inherently wrong, but it should never come at the expense of the things that truly matter: your health, your family, and your relationships. Wealth can provide comfort and security, but it can't replace the peace of mind that comes from good health, the joy of a loving home, or the fulfillment of genuine connections with others. So, take a moment to pause. Check in with your loved ones. Listen to your body. Cherish the time you have, and never lose sight of what's most important. Because at the end of the day, true happiness isn't found in the size of your bank account, it's found in the love, laughter, and memories you create along the way. This article is a heartfelt reminder for everyone to prioritize what matters most, especially as we journey into our later years. Let us live wisely, with gratitude and purpose.